Good evening, good morning or good day, depending on where you're listening from. I will now give a quick explanation about the rules of Hnefatafl. Hnefatafl is, first I will start with a quick history about the game. Hnefatafl is medieval game from medieval times. This is mostly popular in northwestern and northeastern Europe. It's a game that comes from a Roman game called Ludus Latrunoculurum. The difference between the two games is that in Ludus the sides were equal, so unlike in Hnefatafl, where black has more pieces than white, and white has a king that needs to go towards something for a certain objective to win the game. In Ludus, you had, like in chess, equal sides, and you would just play with equal sides. The movement of the pieces is probably historians are not entirely sure, similar, but Ludus was a symmetrical, equal played game. Hnefatafl, however, is not. Like you can see here already in the board, black has more pieces, and white, this piece here, where now I have my cursors on, is a king, and depending on the variation, you need to move the king somewhere, and you will win the game as white. It's an easy to learn game. It's not that easy to get good at, because there is not so many material like in, for example, chess or checkers, where you can easily learn the game and get better at it, because there's a lot of books explaining it. Or for example bridge, like those games are it's easy to get a bit good at it than here, I think, because there's not many material how to get good at, and that if you only know the rules and you play this for the first few times, you'll probably easily lose against more experienced players. So in most variations of Hnefatafl, there is a few exceptions. All the pieces move in a similar manner, even the king. They all move, for the chess players among us, like the rook in chess. So every piece, that means that every piece can go as far as it wants, horizontally or vertically. So if for example here I have my game, you can see it is very nice with the online, with the red spots. You can move. You cannot pass or stop on other pieces, so I cannot move over another piece, and I can also not stop on another piece. So for example, black could do this move. See, and white can now go all the way from D11 to D1, but it cannot go to A6 to K6, because there's already a lot of other pieces standing there, and you can also not move over other pieces. So for example, if I take this piece, see, I cannot move to C1 or C2, because black, the attacker, has already a piece on this spot. All pieces in most variations, and also like in this one, move in this manner, even the king. You capture pieces by surrounding them. So you do not capture like in chess by going on the spot where the piece is, but you capture by surrounding them. Like for example, if white would now do this move, then black can move here, and you capture the piece, because he is directly surrounded from two sides, and it can be either directly from horizontally or vertically. You need to directly surround it. So for example, it doesn't work if for example white moves here. See, no, it's not directly connected, and black moves here, nothing happens. But if white, for example, then would do this one, then black can move here, and it gets captured. So it is always directly surrounded. This also counts for the king. If the king, for example, would move here, black does this one, and white would do something not so good like here. This is also a move, which I wanted to show. If you move, but I will show you in a second, now you see the king gets captured and white lost. It's the same like any other piece in this variation. In almost all edge game variations, the king gets captured by two sides. I will in a second explain a few different variations. If you move between two pieces, you do not get captured, so you can move between two pieces. So like this. This can sometimes be very good because you threaten maybe from two sides to capture a piece, so you will always capture a piece back. In this variation, the king wins by going to the edge of the board. So the objective of white is to move to the edge of the board, and the objective of black is to capture the king or make sure or block him in, and then he cannot go to the edge of the board anymore, and then black wins. So you don't need to specifically capture it, but if you surround him and there is no more way of white to remove his pieces outside your perimeter, then you also win the game. There's also variations where the king needs to move to the edge of the board to win, so like on all four corners of the board. And then in those variations, the king, I will show you one of them in a second, the king only gets captured if you are surrounded by four sides. I will show you now how this works in a different variation. So this is a variation where the king only wins if he moves to the corners of the board. The king then can only also be captured if it's surrounded from four sides. So for example, black always begins, and the attacker and the defender always goes second. So for example, black can do this. No, look, I already have like a thing here, and white can never go to this corner anymore because there is no pieces of him behind me and he cannot pass here. But like for example, let's just continue. So just continue a bit. Now I'll show you what I mean. See, I can move in between again, and now I am threatening to take both sides. Now, for example, black does this, see, and I can capture this one. I'll just do some moves. So, over here, black does just do some other moves. For example, now I move here. In the edge variation, when the king wins by going to the edge of the board, this would be a losing move because he could capture me with this move, but with the corner this doesn't work. See, the king does not get captured because it needs to be surrounded on all four sides. So, and now he would win again because the king moved to the corner and made his objective. I will also quickly show how black, for example, could win. So you can win by capturing the king, or by shutting off the corner. So, for example, if white would play too passively, I'm just going to do some quick moves. You can also see some moves, how it's going then, and I don't know, just some passive moves. So. I'm just wanted to show you. There's one other move I also need to show you about corner play. So black, for example, will do this, and now here, and now this. I don't see. Well, now black has almost won because in now one move he will shut off all corners. So for example, white now does this. You can do this, see, and black has won because all corners are like shut off for the king, and the king can never move to the corners anymore, so black wins. There is one other rule I need to show you here, and that is this. If you are next to a corner, this you can see here also the king thing actually. If you're next to it and now white would move here, you get captured because this corner counts as a unit for both sides. So it's not only for black, it's for both sides. If you're next to a corner or the center, it counts as a unit. You can get get captured. For example, I will just show you, for example, how it also can be like. See, I can now move here. You get captured. This counts as a unit. Again, for both sides. So if black, you can also not stop on this actually. So if I now do, for example, here, see, you cannot move on this unit, but now white can capture black. See, that counts as a unit. You can also not stop on the corners in the corner play, and you cannot move on the king's position in corner play. And this other variation with the edge, such thing doesn't exist. So you can go to the corners or etc. And historical, you only don't have corners here, but you do have a king area which counts similar as in the previous variation I showed. So we'll do one quick recap. All pieces move like in a rook from chess, so horizontally or vertically as far as you want. You capture by surrounding unit like this from two sides directly. In edge play variation, that is this one, the defender or white will win if the king moves to the edge of the board, but the king can also be captured from two sides. In corner variation, the king needs to move to the corner. Today, for example, I can at least show you a quick one. Is like this one I showed. You have the rules here. So you see the, let me check. Okay, berserker rules is something different, and you had some other rules. Where's this one? No, it's in Copenhagen. Yeah, I don't know. No. Copenhagen and Hnefatafl. Ah, this one. This one also has the rule like shield walls. That means that in like in Go, if you surround someone on the side of the board, the pieces you surrounded can be captured. So I hope you find the game interesting and you might give it a shot. I find it very fun to play, and actually lately more fun than chess, which I normally regularly play. And it is easy to learn and still very fun to play. Also, there's a lot of different variations. So for example, if you do not like corner play, you can try the edge play with simple Hnefatafl. If you don't like edge play, you can do corner play. You can do the one with shield walls. There is many different variations, and in this app of Philip Schröder, Hnefatafl app, you can even make your own variation. So if you think, when you get a bit more advanced, you think like, oh, I want to make my own. See, you can make your own variation with size of board, 7x7, 9x9, etc. And the beginning positions. See, you can do all kinds of rules which there are. You can make it yourself. You can even make a white move first, defender. So I hope you will give this game a try. It's very fun, and thank you for watching, and see you next time.